Hello and welcome to another Terranscapes video. This video shows recent work completed for a custom project which has been previously shown in its unfinished state. This is for a large set of boards. This is a third of the total completed set that will be developed for a battle in World War II. The customer requested that the roads be painted in brick. These are cobblestone roads or brick roads that have been inlaid with an embossed styrene sheeting. The customer also gave me some flock, what am I thinking of? Like a flock recipe to use that incorporates a few different woodland scenic blends mixed together with a talus mixed into it. This is the base that he's been using on his miniatures, so it made good sense to use this on the boards as well. One of the things I decided to do with this, however, is that because the talus is pretty rough textured, I thought that where buildings will be placed, I would omit the talus, which would allow the buildings to sit flatter. Here there's going to be a barn complex, a farm complex I should say, so that the buildings will sit flatter on the board, and it's also easier when you go to set up the boards to delineate where the buildings will actually be placed. Again, here's another location for another building. You can see that I've omitted the talus here, and then you can see the talus in the mix. Let me see if I can close up on that a little bit. You can see it in some various spots around there. The boards for this, just as a reminder in case you didn't see the previous video, these are 2 feet by 2 feet in diameter, or I'm sorry, in width and length. So this entire set here comprises 9 feet by 9 feet and represents roughly about a third of the total table dimensions that will be completed. The farm area, I opted to try to model a couple farm patches alongside the building area, and I opted for 2 different styles for this, try to add some real variation to the board's appearance and a little more interest. What I did first is I striated the surface of the board to indicate farm furrows, like a plowed field. I think you can see that pretty well there. And then I overlaid it with a special, what is this? This is Super Turf, actually. This is by, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of that. Scenic Express, that's the company. Anyway, this has a really nice texture. It's sort of halfway in between lichen and lichen and some of their clump foliage. So basically you get something that's got a nice sort of, I don't know, like a lettuce look. This is all going to be played on as a 20mm scale game. So 20mm just for you, you know, it's just slightly above Flames of War, so I'll give you a little sense of that. The second field I did as perhaps a field that's already been harvested and is really covered in patchy stubble, perhaps something remaining from like a wheat field or grasses, or perhaps even corn. It's, you know, believable at a distance for either of those. And I think those 2 patches, if I pan back, really adds a nice visual variation to the board for this area. Over here, we have some entrenchments that have been dug out that the troops were using to defend a building that's going to be placed here. This is going to be a large hotel, and in just a second I will show you the next set of boards that's going to abut up to this and the work that's been completed on them to date. One thing before I leave these boards, however, is I was concerned about how to maintain orientation of the boards to assist in their setup, and also for me to maintain how to orient the boards for work on them, as well as to make it a little easier for myself. So what I did is I numbered each of the boards. I inscribed on the side of each board, see if you can see that clearly, there you go, number 9 here, this is board number 9. Each of the boards is labeled on the same side, so that board number 8 is here. So the number indicates both the board's placement within the set as well as its orientation. I think of, let me just tighten that back up, there we go. I think of the boards as being orientated, this is going to be the top of the table to me, and then I'm working this way across it. So this is board 1, and the number 1 is on this side. This is board 2, number 2 is on this side, board 3, etc. So that when the boards are going to be laid out, it's extremely easy to orientate all the boards, because all you have to do is look at the number and you drop it down, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the numbers tell you which way to turn the boards. So I thought that worked out very well as a system for orientating the boards. Now I'll give you a chance to take a look at the next set of boards and how they meet up with these, and some of the work that's going to be done on those. So here I've taken the last row, which is boards 7, 8, and 9, pushed them up to the front of my floor here, and then I can show you the next 9 boards that are being added. So what I did here is I just did the first 3 boards, painted them up, so that I could ensure that I could match up the foxhole / dugout over here, make sure that the roads match up and color-wise before I ship out the first 9 boards. And it gives me a chance to actually then just, like I said, connect it to, so you can kind of get that visual sense of where it's leading from. There's the green farm, of course, with the super turf there. I like to think of that as sort of like a lettuce patch. But in any case, so then the roads are going to continue down. As I mentioned before in the very first video, the roads basically transect, maybe? I'm not sure. Move down the entire length of the entire table on both sides. But once we get into this section here, there are a series of buildings, some of which I had painted before, and you'll see them in a previous video if you look back at my video records. But there's also an extensive network of roads that start to enter here. There are several crossroads that come across. Here you can see there are spaces for buildings to be put in, and one of the new features which is going to be developed on this set of boards here, starting here, is going to be a railroad. And the railroad actually comes across as an overpass and rises on a hill about 4 inches here and comes across right off the edge of the board. So this is going to need to be developed pretty soon. I'll be putting in the foam work for that, raising this slope up. This is going to have an overall height here. Oh gosh, I forget. I want to say it's 4 inches, and I have to just double check my records on that. So you get a sense though. So this will be the next 9 by foot section that you'll see, probably, hopefully within I don't know, a week or 2, as the entire project is slated to be completed by the end of December. So anyway, hope that gives you a little sense of the scope of the project, and of course for the customer to give him a little chance to check out the work that's been done, make sure everything's looking okay. I'm waiting right now for the rest of the road sections that I've ordered. They're coming in actually from an importer in Canada, because they're the only people who can import this section of road from the UK. So in fact, they just shipped out the other segments today, so I'll be getting in about 20 more packs of these roads, and I'll be laying out that first, and then we'll go from there. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Of course, if you want to see any detailed photos of these first 9 boards that have been completed, they'll be posted in the custom work section at terranscapes.com. And if you have any questions about any other custom projects that you see there, feel free to give me a call. I won't be accepting any more custom projects until the beginning of the new year, and I have a system in mind to try to help regulate the queue for those projects, as it got a little out of hand this year, and I'll be working on fixing that. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you later. And last but not least, I just wanted to give a quick shout out, I guess, to a guy who is putting up videos of how to build your own hot wire foam cutters. So he has a series of tutorials. This is Monte Carlo, I don't know if that's even focused there, Monte Carlo 712. And he's got videos on how to do the wiring, the electrical requirements, materials that you need. And so any of you hobbyists who are out there who are interested in maybe making a foam wire cutter for sculpting some of your own terrain, you might want to check this out. I wish I knew about this guy's videos, or they were available, I should say, when I made my own hot wire cutting table, because I think it would have been vastly helpful. And I may actually need to tap into some of his knowledge a little bit later on, as I use hot wire cutting to recycle some of my excess foam. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know about that, and go ahead and check out his video series. He's got, I don't know, maybe 5 or half a dozen or so videos up now, and he has his own website, which is hotwirefoamcutterinfo.com, I believe.